Vaccination. Few of us are already vaccinated. Some of us are still afraid about getting vaccinated. Do you know only around 4% of Indians got vaccinated till now? And do you know how many companies in India are working on COVID-19 vaccine? There are 7 companies, out of which few big players like Bharat Biotech, Serum Institute, and Cadila are the big players in manufacturing of vaccine in India. So, how has been the vaccination journey so far in India? By when can all of us Indians get vaccinated? Can Do you think India can provide vaccine to all its people by the end of 2021? If being optimistic, I mean, okay. So, if you are new around here, I'm Emred Mission, and this is my dear friend Sankalp Kuram. We are two of them. We discuss, argue, and agree about what's happening around us in our radar. So, welcome to another episode of two of them. Today, as we just said, we'll discuss about the vaccination that's happening in India currently. Hey Sankalp, how are you doing? Looks like you're a bit weak because of the vaccination that you took uh, recently.
Yeah, I'm doing good now. Yeah, I did take vaccination 3 days back, and I was sick for a day. When I say sick, I had like fever, headache, and soreness on my left arm where I got vaccinated, and I still have a little bit of soreness in my left arm. But yeah, I'm doing fine now. I'm doing much better, and yeah, thank you so much for asking.
Yeah. So, as I said, today we'll discuss about what's all happening around us, at least in India, regarding this vaccine, because very recently our Prime Minister Narendra Modi also announced a free vaccine for all the people in India. So yeah, let's get there. So where did we? I mean, in this whole journey of vaccination, how did this whole journey began in India?
Yeah, I think if you take a step back to 2020 when we all were in lockdown and when things were quickly changing and a lot of people who were making vaccines. I think it was around December. A lot of these vaccines got kind of approved by the authorities, and then they started to roll out these vaccines. I think in December across countries. But I think in India, I remember it was in January. I think around January 15th or 16th, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, it's been like almost 6 months, and
We
it's
had an
been quite a
interesting
journey.
start, if I'm not wrong. We started with 45 plus only. Uh,
I think it was 60 plus. It was
okay,
60
60,
plus,
60 plus, yeah.
60 plus, and frontline workers. It started
Okay.
off with frontline workers and 60 plus. I mean, frontline workers is obvious because they are the one who are most
Yes.
exposed to this virus, and then it was a 60 plus who at that point of time were considered to be the one who were more prone to this virus, who can be affected, which didn't end up the case in the second wave. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when we were in January, I'm sure it was the case. And yeah, it was then, like you said, right? It did start for 45. I think probably in the month of March. I'm not very sure, but yeah, I guess it was in March, and then we've seen people who are 45 plus and even 60 plus actually kind of taking that vaccine, and there was this period of 28 days after which people can take the second dose after that. A lot of these things were going in kind of, they were taking the smooth process, and things were going fine till they released it for 18 plus. And yeah, I mean, I think what kind of what went wrong there could probably be is that India it's a 1.4 billion population country, and it's not easy to kind of get vaccinated a lot of people in a quick time. We
But
we did
also,
not.
there is no awareness in certain parts of India still.
Yeah.
Telling still.
Yeah. Though it is quite, it sounds surprising. It's that still a lot of people are not aware of it. But yeah, I mean that's still there, and we have to do something about that as well. But yeah, to get back to what we were talking, I think like once it was transition, like once we got to that 18 plus, in 18 plus, once website, and that's where I think it went wrong a little, because we kind of didn't have enough supply of vaccine, and the demand was so high. And I think you cannot blame the government for this, because we kind of didn't expect how the second wave was going to be, and the various, sorry, the I think various aspects came into place. One was like we kind of didn't we kind of underestimated the demand, and then also the virus in the second wave was very, very strong. And all of these came into how things went wrong during the second wave. And one of the interesting stories I heard was that, like, I think you would have also heard, is that in the COVID app, it was almost like fastest fingers first. It was almost like a KBC, where it was just, the slots were open, it got over in 3 seconds. The funny part is that even though you would get a slot, which you've got it, you had to wait for hours and hours in the line at the vaccination center. And also, and if there's always a possibility that you might not get the slot if the vaccinations get over before your token, which is very sad at that point of time. And that too during the second wave, all of these, it's still the second wave is there, but it's getting subsiding day by day, were happening at the same time.
Yeah. And coming to awareness, I'm speechless. Basically, what happened is, in my village, my hometown, most of the people, we discussed that we started off with 60 plus, and most of the 60 plus people in our village expired because of COVID, because they did not take the vaccine. They did not. They are not aware that. I mean, people still have doubts about taking a vaccine. They also had their doubts, and that's a bad sign. We can't do anything about it, but that's what happened in my experience about this awareness on COVID vaccines. Okay.
Just to add to that point, I remember, I mean, it just goes with a lot of these, a lot of the awareness programs that are being conducted. Not just, I think, like, we have to. It was very short time for us to kind of make people aware of all of these things. Because things like AIDS, right? Like when AIDS transmission, it took a lot of effort from the government to create this awareness programs over years to stop AIDS, right? And that's I mean, it takes so many years to create that awareness, and for things like COVID, and the vaccine for that COVID is not going to be that easy. But I'm really sorry for your loss. And yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people did get affected because of lack of awareness.
Yeah, true. Okay. So yeah, moving forward, so do you think, as announced by our Modi, by when do you see that all the Indians will get vaccinated?
I did see what Modi had to say about the vaccination drive that are being conducted, and how he responded to what was happening in the second wave. I think on June 7th, if I'm not wrong, that he came up. He kind of broadcasted this message that from June 21st onwards, we'll be getting free vaccine across India. And, he also mentioned that it's going to be a much more centralized centralized system, vaccination drive, that a lot of these things will be driven through the center, and it's done. It will be done much more effectively, and it's a positive sign, because I think like a lot of times I think we did see that private hospitals were charging around 1,500 for each of these vaccines. I did go through Twitter to see how much was the charges, and I found that 1,500 for each of these vaccines. And at that point of time, it's not fair to ask people to take a vaccine for 1,500, especially in rural areas. So it didn't make sense, and making it free for everyone is also one kind of awareness that people in rural areas, like you were saying, right? Like they will be pushed to go and take the vaccine. Uh, I think that was a good gesture, but to be honest, I still have my doubts on whether we can actually do complete vaccinations in 2021, of both doses, right? I mean, it's not going to be that easy, considering that we've just vaccinated 4% of the people, right? It's highly unrealistic at this point of time to get it done in 2021. And it takes, I mean, it has always been the case that when a pandemic hits, and if you have population like the way India has, it takes a lot of time it takes a lot of time in terms of years. Like it takes years to get everyone vaccinated, and I feel like it might take till 2023 to get vaccinated. But it's only because of the situation right now and where we stand. And like if we can match the demand that we have, and it's not easy on the manufacturers end also, right? Like the top three manufacturers you mentioned, it's not an easy on their end also to create these vaccines at that speed, right? They're not built. These companies have been have been creating vaccines for a long time. Like these are not the ones which is created now, right? They have had vaccinations for other diseases, and it's not fair to expect them to roll out vaccines at that scale, to match the demand. It's gonna be a slow process. I think that's the reason they've increased that 28 days to 84 days. So I have my vaccine, the second dose of vaccine in September, which is quite far from now. But that's the scene. Like you have to get most people their first dose, and the only way you do it is you have enough doses to give it to people by increasing the period between the first dose and the second dose. So yeah, I mean that's the place we are at. And I like answering your question, and just to summarize what I've said, it just feels like it's going to take much more time than 2021 for sure. What do you think, Bhargav? Like what is your perception of how vaccines are going right now?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say it's slow because it's an unplanned situation, and I think our government is handling it quite well. Even though we were in such a unexpected situation, government is handling it very well. But yeah, considering only 4% of us got vaccinated in 6 months, it is going to be challenging for the 100 for us to finish 100% of vaccination. And this is not something new, because previously whatever pandemics that we had also, the vaccination takes time. It's a general scenario. It does take time. So I mean, I can't say by when, but according to me, maybe mid 2022 uh, we should be in a position where at least 80 to 90% of us got vaccinated. Because like UK Prime Minister said, it's not about the herd immunity, which means around 40 to 50% of the population getting affected by the virus. It's not that case. We should be in a situation where we are vaccinating most of our people, so that we can contain it. That's one view. And one more interesting point which you mentioned, that is now it's good to see that center is taking the control of the whole vaccination drive, which is
Yeah,
pretty interesting to me, because initially the government said the states has to take care of procuring
yeah,
their own vaccines, and
yeah,
now it is I mean the center is saying that, I mean the government is saying that uh, the center itself, the government, central government itself will take care of the vaccine, I mean providing the vaccine. That's an interesting uh,
yeah. Yeah, I feel like, that when I think they clearly saw what was their fault in terms of, why the vaccination, why they were
mm,
short in vaccines. And that was probably because of the decentralized state of how vaccines procurement was happening.
mm,
And they realized that they need to fix this problem to be more effective. And yeah, it now, like, retrospectively, it kind of makes sense that, it should be done much more centralized way.
mm,
But we will have to see. But things are looking, shaping in good way. But we'll have to see how this kind of works out.
yeah,
To, like, sometimes it helps to have, a decentralized system where, states can take care of each of these different parts of the state, right? Like, you have multiple areas. It's not just like cities, there are towns, and there are villages, right? And it's always it's easier for a state to take care of these aspects at a much deeper level. But, when you make it centralized, it
mm,
becomes difficult. I think that was their ideology at the start.
yeah,
But soon they realized that, they would have to make it decentralized after a certain, a good number of people get vaccinated. Then it would make sense to make it more, outreach, increasing outreach of the vaccines. But at this point of time, yeah, it clearly makes sense to make it centralized. And that's good that, government is trying to do that.
mm, okay. So yeah, that's a good point of view. So yeah, also because we are talking about vaccines, there is an interesting uh, uh, rumor that came that if you take Gomutra, you will not be contacted with coronavirus. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I was planning to do that, but but somehow I just didn't find good urines to drink. But yeah, yeah. I mean, that was hilarious. I mean, I mean, a lot of things have happened during this last 6 months that I found. I was awestruck by what was happening outside, where people just didn't really understand what was going on during the pandemic. But this was just out of, like, this is too much, like, people, politicians claiming that, they drink, actually they drink every day cow's urine. That's the reason they haven't contacted virus, which is quite hilarious to me. They think that, taking 20 ml of gomuth vaccination is good for them. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I feel like, how can we be, like, so stupid, like, things we still, it's just that we still believe in these kind of things. And there are, I mean, considering it's coming from a lot of politicians, right? There is a lot of people who can be, influenced by these kind of
Influence
opinions
people.
and actually do these kind of practices, which is just, coming from someone like, politicians, is definitely going to impact a lot of people. And talking about awareness, right? We picked on some talking about awareness, and you make these kind of statements is not at all good for, any kind of publicity about vaccine, right? Obviously people will think it is true. And considering, cow is such a, like, it's considered as a holy thing in India. And anything that deals with cow, and people will get influenced and start to believe all of these things. So yeah, it's kind of stupid to, come up with this, and at the same time it's quite hilarious.
Mm. Well, actually, drinking gomutra is good for health. No, it's not. I mean, yeah, it's scientifically proven. I'm not saying some random things, but it's not for COVID. That's what I belief. I mean, not for COVID, but generally, having Gomudra is actually good for health.
Okay.
It's Ayurveda. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. It's
Okay, I'll
not
check
for
it out.
COVID. Mm,
Not drinking, but I'll check the scientific reason why it is why it is healthy and why it can be considered as healthy.
mm. So yeah. So and also there was one more interesting thing that happened in Andhra. One more guy called Anandaya who came up with a Ayurvedic medicine for Ayurvedic vaccine for corona. He's from Nellore in Andhra
Mhm.
Pradesh. I mean,
I
generally
know
they are
where it is
famous.
going. I kind
Uh,
of feel I know where it's going. Yeah.
there is generally, I mean, that guy generally provides Ayurvedic medicine, but he came up with this thing. And there was one video which came in my WhatsApp. I saw there were a lot of people, I mean, I can't tell you how many people, almost 1 lakh people are there in that video. I'm saying, what are these guys doing? Later, someone told me they came for that Ayurvedic vaccine. Oh God! I mean, the people came for Ayurvedic in a ground, in a small ground. If you imagine, there are 50,000 people in queue for Corona
Yeah.
vaccine. That was
Yeah.
interesting, and I mean, a lot of speculation happened on his medicine, and later, actually, the government of Andhra Pradesh also kind of approved his medicine. A lot of things happened, but yeah, that was also one fun thing that happened. I mean, fun thing for media anyway. I mean, to
Yeah, media are curious about all of these things for sure. And I don't know. I still like. I'm unable. I'm really surprised that actually the government approved the vaccine, the Ayurvedic vaccine. And yeah, I hope they've like clearly tested it out, and it can be considered. But I'm not in to take that Ayurvedic vaccine for sure.
it's not kind of a vaccine, but it's kind of a medicine kind of a thing. Can't
Medicine.
say vaccine,
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
medicine. But it's a
Got
general
it.
thing. It's nothing, not something we don't know. It's made out of some garlic and stuff like that. What
Yeah.
we generally take. That's what.
Natural stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. It's something like imagine like you're paying to have kada. Kada drink. It's almost like that. But yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, that's an interesting story.
Yeah. And I want to know about another story, and also because why I want to know this is because I want to understand how the vaccination is going through. Because I did not go through my vaccination till now because it's not been 3 months till since I contacted with COVID. So,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't take my vaccine. So I just wanted to know how is the experience that you had when you are taking vaccine, the whole setup, the whole how it is organized and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I was also very excited when I got the news that our company is collaborating with a lot of a lot of other companies to do this vaccination drive. So yeah, I mean, it was really it was a great experience. First of all, like the way it was conducted, it was done in Novotel Convention Center in near High Tech City in Hyderabad, and it was done like really well. The way it was managed and the way things were at any point of time, I didn't feel like this was not the right way to do it. Everything was very structured, very procedural. A lot of things were taken care. No one, there was so many people, but still everyone were wearing masks, taking the right precautions, and people were there to assist. So it was really great experience to what Novotel, and it's a collaborative effort for sure. But how they have done this whole process was just an amazing experience. Yeah. So I with my sister, my cousin, she was also there with me, and we went to Novotel. We it was this process that you have to go to the token system. You have to show your Coven registration number. You mention few details like Aadhaar card number and your personal details, and then they give you a token. There is a center for where you get vaccinated. It's a huge hall, right? It's a very big hall, where almost like it was also mentioned that it is the biggest center for vaccination, and Novotel kind of hosted that, and so the way it happened is me and my sister went to take vaccine. It was just like in minutes, just in like 10 minutes, we registered at the counter. We went to the vaccination area. We got vaccinated. We were made to sit for 15 minutes. There is an observation area. So there is a registration area, there is a vaccination area, then there is an observation area, right? I mean, it's always possible that you might have some side effects immediately, and there are doctors available there to take care of if there is anything, any kind of side effects you have and you need some help. So registration area to vaccination area, then to the observation. We were there for like 15-20 minutes. We felt good, and so yeah, it was very smooth, and the whole process where to get the token to vaccinate and stay during observation period, nowhere did we feel like we were uncomfortable. Good that we had taken all the precautions. We took gloves, we had this shields from airlines, that all the airlines sponsored shields that we have, and then double mask, all like super precautions that we were taking from our end. And so yeah, I mean, so one of the interesting things is that a lot of companies, right, like there was Infosys, there was Wipro, and our company was also there, the math company, and a lot of these companies had their employees come and take vaccination. One other thing is how it was done is, from I can talk about from our company, is that our company is sponsored for all the vaccines. First of all, we did not pay for any of these vaccines, and then at the same time, they collaborated. There's a big collaboration. So Office, which is a co-working space, Office is the one who kind of collaborate. Matco is partnered with Office and the co-working space, and the Office kind of had this other companies as well in that space, and they had their they had their registration counter. They got allocated a registration counter in Novotel, and that's how we were driven, like we got through that place. So yeah, I mean, it's almost like a corporate vaccination drive that happened. And I see a lot of other companies. I've seen a lot of my friends who have got vaccinated through this vaccination drive, corporate vaccination drive, which is sponsored by their companies, which is really good to see that since people have been working from home, and a lot of people having been issues, and a lot of business was getting affected through this. And it's good that with, like, if the employees are taken care of, they're vaccinated, and they can work. It's always good to get vaccinated, because first of all, you can work in peace. You need not be too worried about it. You have to take precautions, there's no question about it, but you need not be completely worried. So it's good that the companies are taking all these initiatives to get everyone vaccinated. So yeah, so it was great experience. I hope, like, once the 3 months gets over, and I'm sure you will also get vaccinated, and so yeah, that should be great as well.
So India is short on vaccines, and now I know where all these vaccines are going. The corporate. It went to the corporate. So,
It went to the corporate and going to the common people. So corporates are able to afford all these things for their employees.
because that's some revenue generating asset for the country. Yeah, that makes complete sense. If it makes sense. Yeah, on that note, yeah, thanks uncle for joining in. We had a very good discussion on the vaccination drives that are happening in India currently. So yeah, okay, thank you viewers. So if you do like our content, please subscribe to our channel. Please do like, share, and comment on this video. Yeah, we'll catch you up tomorrow on a great episode. coming up on French Open. It's an interesting French Open. To be honest, it's a heartbreaking French Open for me as well yesterday. But yeah, we'll get to that tomorrow. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, yes, thank you. Bye-bye.